This crime is the result of a deception that the opinion on immigration by the Dems exists within a reasonable spectrum of a country. A country has borders.
I've never heard of a country that doesn't have borders, and this whole concept of the left wanting to abolish borders will sadly only result in more crimes against American citizens. But Greg Gutfeld has had enough, and he's calling out these Democrats for their ridiculous open border agenda as violent crimes involving illegal immigrants continue to make headlines. Just watch. Don't forget to subscribe.
But it doesn't seem to bother them. But if we don't do these stories, then nobody does these stories. So we have to do them. Someone should do a documentary, I am too lazy, called What Happened Next, which catalogs all these horrific consequences of far left or liberal policies, whether it's liberal DAs or judges, that always end up in crime. How many cases are there? I can't even keep track because there's so many. There was like 3 this week in which someone was murdered, someone was almost abducted, someone was assaulted by somebody recently released by a judge or kept away from ICE. This feels, it's like you could definitely do a series of this because it just doesn't stop. And once again, this crime is the result of a deception that the opinion on immigration by the Dems exists within a reasonable spectrum of a country. A country has borders. When you say open border, you're no longer part of the conversations. So what happens is it's like having a cooking show and the chef decides we're going to stop eating. It doesn't work that way. This is why we're having this problem, is that they are undermining the only system that would prevent this. These are the eggs that are getting broken for the omelet called the open border. And I don't know how they can continue doing this. I guess it's because they do know they have blood on their hands. So you just got to keep looking forward. Don't look down.
They aren't looking down, and they definitely aren't looking back. You would think, as elected officials, your position would be to protect American citizens and have policies that would actually benefit them. But sadly, that really doesn't seem like the goal here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be prioritizing dangerous criminals while completely ignoring the fact that it's Americans who actually become victims of their policies.
Just one time, I would love to hear about a far scarier incident. In the last 24 hours, we learned that Todd Stewart was murdered by an illegal immigrant who was let out by a California judge who had already committed a crime. Why is there never a segment or footage shown of American citizens who are killed by illegal?
We should be targeting illegal aliens who commit crimes. I agree.
So
and that's what the Trump administration said that they were going to do. But then we're deporting people who are law-abiding citizens, or not citizens, but law-abiding residents who are contributing. They're contributing to their community.
They're not law-abiding.
They're contributing to their community. And instead, those are the people they're targeting. And then innocent Americans are getting caught in the crosshairs.
It's a really good question. Why is it that we see wall-to-wall coverage of ICE arrests, people protesting ICE, unfortunate ICE fatalities, and the media painting people who broke our country's laws as innocent victims of the tyrant, authoritarian, dictator, evil orange man? But we rarely ever hear about the Americans who become victims of these illegal immigrants. They try to argue that, Trump said he was only going after criminals, while completely undermining the fact that even being here is a crime. So why do we have to wait for them to become violent and have more innocent American bloodshed? Because seriously, if we're going to have a discussion about immigration, then shouldn't the people who are actually harmed by these immigrants matter too? I think they should. But they don't want to talk about that, because they know those crimes could have been prevented had the right measures been taken. But instead, the conversation always seems to shift toward the circumstances of the person who committed the crime, instead of the American who was victimized. And what exactly is the point of having immigration laws if all they're trying to do is undermine the system that enforces them? Just think about it. They say they want to defund ICE. They want to abolish ICE, and now with these new DSA policies, they want to abolish the border and even go as far as defund the Department of War. Just think about how ridiculous that sounds. A country needs borders, but it seems like they just want us defenseless from top to bottom. And I don't understand how it's even controversial to enforce our immigration laws in the first place. We have borders to protect our sovereignty. If we lose that, I don't even want to imagine. We're supposed to govern who can and can't enter our country, and who can stay and for how long. If not, it would be a complete free-for-all disaster. So when they weaken enforcement by limiting cooperation with federal immigration authorities and make it harder to remove people who are here illegally, what exactly do they think is going to happen? Or, better yet, do they even care? Is that why they don't comment on the American victims? I mean, I can remember Joe Biden didn't even want to say Lincoln Riley's name. And it's probably because, like Greg said, there's no looking down, and that blood is on their hands. But that's just my opinion. I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.